Welcome to SERA Mythology, where ancient myths, legendary gods, forgotten origins, and spiritual stories from around the world come alive. Among the countless love stories told in ancient mythology, few are as haunting as the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, a love so powerful that it crossed the boundary between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. But in the end, one single glance would change everything. Orpheus was the greatest musician and poet of ancient Greek mythology. His music was said to possess an almost supernatural power. When Orpheus played his lyre and sang, animals became still, trees seemed to bend toward his voice, and even stones were moved by the beauty of his music. Then Orpheus met Eurydice. Eurydice was a beautiful young woman, and the two fell deeply in love. Their love led to marriage, and for a brief moment, their lives seemed destined for happiness. But their happiness did not last. One day, Eurydice was walking through a meadow when a shepherd named Aristeus saw her and attempted to pursue her. Eurydice ran away in fear. While fleeing, she stepped into the grass and was bitten by a poisonous snake. The venom spread quickly. Eurydice died. For Orpheus, the world lost its meaning. His music, once filled with beauty, became filled with grief. He could not accept that Eurydice was gone. So Orpheus made a decision no ordinary mortal would dare to make. He would descend into the underworld and bring her back. Carrying his lyre, Orpheus entered the dark realm of the dead. The journey led him through a terrifying world filled with spirits and shadows. He eventually reached the river Styx, where the souls of the dead crossed into the underworld. There, the ferryman Charon guarded the passage. But when Orpheus played his music, even Charon was moved by the sorrow in his song and allowed him to pass. Orpheus continued deeper into the underworld. His music silenced the terrifying creatures of the realm. The guardians of the dead became still. Even the punishments of the damned seemed to pause as his song echoed through the darkness. At last, Orpheus stood before Hades, ruler of the underworld, and Persephone, queen of the dead. Orpheus did not fight them. He simply played his lyre and sang about Eurydice. He sang of their love. He sang of their wedding. He sang of the emptiness that had filled the world since her death. His music was so powerful that even the rulers of the underworld were moved. Hades agreed to release Eurydice, but there was one condition. Orpheus could lead Eurydice out of the underworld and return with her to the world of the living. However, he was forbidden to look back at her until they had completely left the realm of the dead. Orpheus accepted. He began walking toward the distant light. Behind him, Eurydice followed silently. Step by step, Orpheus climbed upward. The darkness began to disappear. The light of the living world came closer, but doubt began to fill Orpheus's heart. Was Eurydice really behind him? Had Hades kept his promise? Just before reaching the surface, Orpheus could no longer resist. He turned around. For one heartbreaking moment, he saw Eurydice. She was there, but she had not yet crossed completely into the world of the living. As Orpheus looked at her, Eurydice was pulled back into the darkness. Orpheus reached toward her, but it was too late. Eurydice disappeared. Her final farewell was carried away into the darkness of the underworld. This time, Orpheus could not return. He had lost Eurydice for the second time. Orpheus returned to the world of the living alone. His music became even more sorrowful, carrying the memory of the woman he had loved and lost. The ancient myth says that Orpheus continued to mourn Eurydice until his own death. Their story survived for thousands of years, not as a tale of a perfect love, but as one of the most tragic stories ever told in Greek mythology. Orpheus crossed the boundary between life and death for Eurydice. He moved gods, spirits, and the ruler of the underworld with the power of his love and music. Yet, at the very moment when Eurydice was almost within reach, A single glance separated them forever. This is the legend of Orpheus and Eurydice. If ancient stories like this continue to fascinate, subscribe to SERA Mythology, like this video, and leave a comment with the ancient myth that should be explored next. More legendary stories from Greece and the forgotten mythologies of the world await in SERA Mythology.